Welcome to Strictly Talk
Where strictly talk about Strictly.
with Poppy and Jordan.
And it's episode 25. Wait, we did it wrong. We did it wrong. And it's episode 25 in which we pose the question. Should dance experience be allowed on Strictly Come Dancing? Because the latest news since we've last filmed is we have two new confirmed celebrities. Will Best, we're not really going to talk much about him today, and we're more focusing on the fact that Cash Mercer, Love Island star and professional dancer, has been confirmed as part of the Strictly cast. And we're already seeing the dance experience, blah, 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 blah. So we're going to do a whole episode about the history of dance experience on Strictly and whether we think it should be allowed or whether the trolls are valid. But
And
first,
I was going to say, let me say, to get you ready for this episode, we have uncovered some juicy tea.
oh
There
my
is
goodness.
more dance experience than you may realize. So stay tuned if you want to go, wait a minute, what?
There
Huh?
is lore that
Whoa.
we stumbled upon, and it's juicy, juicy. So
Juicy,
stay.
juicy. Speaking of juicy, juicy, let's do a this or that. I have two options for Jordan. And I would like you to imagine that you are on Strictly right now.
Okay, oof,
And so
bring it. It's like every
these
evening.
these are the two options. You're reaching
Mm,
the final, first of all, congratulations.
of course, naturally.
So, would you rather get tens from early on, but you
Mm,
never get a 40?
ugh,
You've got some 39s that quite early, Craig never gets that paddle out. Or
mm.
takes you a while to get tens, you're like, oh my God, is it ever gonna happen? But in the final, Craig gives you that 10, you get the 40. Which would you rather? Higher overall average score or achieve the 40?
I think knowing who I am, someone who would make it to the final, I'm gonna be really good, but I'm not gonna be Tasha Guri good, you know? And
Mm,
so to go for like a high average, while it would be nice, I'm never going to be top of that list. And there's many people that have gotten 40s in their time, but it does feel like an achievement to get one, to make it
mhm.
happen. Um, so I think I would rather get the 40. However, I do think there's something in every series now. It's like you're the first person to get a 40 doing a tango on week 5. And it's like they love to say,
Yeah.
we've not had this before, but actually it's almost arbitrary because there's like 15 dance styles in 15 weeks. So you could find a reason to say this is the first anything. I want a 40. When I'm on Strictly, I want a 40. I don't think it
Okay.
would happen, but I want one. What about you?
Yeah, I think also because sometimes memorable dancers don't necessarily score highly. So you
Mm,
could not be getting those tens, but it doesn't mean your dancers aren't still entertaining.
hmm.
But to achieve that 40, I think is like a key moment.
Yeah.
And there's someone here who achieved the first 40 and maybe their dance experience. But
Hmm.
because it was like a celebrated thing, and it's like we know who got that first 40. Like it's so memorable that I feel like no matter what else happens in the competition, you want that 40.
I also think it like kind of leads into a narrative of we need Craig to give you the 40. I don't think this is the reason George made it to the final, but part of his story was, is he gonna get it? Is Craig gonna
Mm.
give him the 10, and
And he should have. That
he should
show
have.
dance.
Yeah, he definitely should have. But it definitely helped people who weren't sure whether to vote for, like who to vote for. They went, well, I want the underdog to get a 40 sort of thing. So anyway, yeah, I want a
There we go.
40.
Let us know what you would pick. Do you want the 40 or do you just want to score highly generally?
It would be stressful though to go through the whole show, and each week you're like, oh God, I didn't get it this week, and I might not be
Yeah,
back
that's
next
true.
week. You
That
know,
is true. Yeah,
like you don't want to peak too early, but also you could get eliminated at any point.
that's true. I suppose if you're
But
scoring highly, you're more likely to be making it to the end.
mhm.
Less
But
peril.
speaking of people that will make it to the final, or surprisingly, based on what we've uncovered, not always, and yet here we are. Let's talk about dance experience on Strictly.
Mm.
So we'll start where we're at today, which is, as I said at the start, Cash Mercer has
Hmm.
been announced for Strictly Come Dancing. And his experience is not in ballroom in Latin. he does have some dance experience because he is a professional dancer. There is discourse online, and we've posted our videos. There's already people saying what they always say, but also, this is me wishfully thinking, it has been a bit quieter this
Mm,
far than I think I've seen in previous
yeah.
years. But we just thought, based on the fact that we know the noise is coming, we're sort of here to tell you that dance experience on Strictly isn't anything new. And in fact, there are many people with dance experience that you didn't even know had dance experience on Strictly.
Hmm.
And so we're going to take you all the way back to early era Dancing with the Strictly.
Close.
I
Close.
watched Dancing with the Stars, The Next Pro, last night, and it's very much in my brain. And so, sorry
Mm.
everyone if I
Dance
get
with the
that wrong.
Strictly, the next dance experience.
The next dance experience, come dancing Strictly.
Yes. Are we starting at the beginning? Did you look at series one?
I did look at series one, and there are a few actors in series one. However, really, there is actually not that much dance experience going on.
Except, except Claire Sweeney.
Except,
This is
yes,
where I always come back to with Strictly Dance Experience. People get very up in arms, as if Claire Sweeney, like musical theatre Claire Sweeney, didn't do series one. And the reason she was eliminated, this is the real law that literally is like tea, is because she
go
had
on.
dance experience, but she wasn't as good as they thought she'd be. So they were like
Yeah.
mad that she wasn't good enough because they were like, "Hello, you should be better than this." And like
Mm-hmm.
you watch the first episode of Strictly, like they aired it a couple years ago to be like, look how far we've come. And they're like annoyed at Claire Sweeney for not being good enough. And I'm like, that's crazy. Like the way things have changed between
Yeah.
Attitudes to Dance Experience then, which was, hello, you should be better than this, to now it's like, you're too good. How dare you? It's fascinating. But also,
It
can I
is.
tell you my favorite thing about Claire Sweeney?
I would love to hear your favorite thing about Claire
Okay.
Sweeney.
Claire Sweeney did House of Games. Richard Osman's House of Games. Loved the show, let me
Big
honest.
fan.
And at the end of House of Games, you have Answer Smash, and it's like an image and a question, and you combine them. And the answer to the question was Martin Kemp empanadas, because it was the answer to the question was Martin Kemp, and the image was empanadas. But Claire Sweeney buzzed in and went confidently, Martin Dumplings! And Martin Dumplings is my favourite phrase of all time, and I say it frequently. So thank you, Claire Sweeney, for that. Um, and there
Wow.
we go. That's the start of our dance experience journey
Mm-hmm.
back in series
So,
one.
and yeah, as Poppy said, the sort of important thing to note is like it was a bit acknowledged she would probably be quite good, and then she wasn't as good as they thought. But
Hmm.
just from a casting perspective, and simply the statement, um, it shouldn't be allowed, or Strictly was never this way. Series one,
Yeah.
they had some
Um,
dance experience.
and may
Sure,
I move?
I was gonna say sure she's not a pro dancer, but she has experience, and she was cast because she was expected to do quite well. They wanted someone that would do well.
Yeah. Well, moving on to series two. And
Hmm.
someone had dance experience in this series, and let me tell you, she did do very well because it was none other than Jill Halfpenny, the winner of series two and the earner of the first 40. Call back to this or that. Jill Halfpenny had not like necessarily recent dance experience, but from my research, she did ballet and tap as a child. She was doing dance classes between ages 3 to 12. So that's like quite a chunk. She's done some musical theatre. She's been in like Oliver as a child. And this all feels so familiar because didn't Karen Carney get loads of hate in this last series because she won even though she did dance as a child and that was really unfair. And oh, didn't Lewis Cope get hate because he did Chap as a child and was in Billy Elliot as a child, and that got him like, hmm, almost as if back in 2004, I don't remember, back in the past, it didn't matter as much. And now you have the same level of experience, except actually, technically, if you're thinking about it maths wise, Jill did Strictly when she was, I think, 29 and had dance experience until she was 12. Karen Carney was in her 30s and had dance experience until she was, I think, 11. So there's actually,
Hmm.
when you think about it, like it's trickled out. But for some reason, Karen Carney got loads of hate for it. And Jill
Hmm.
Halfpenny was happily voted the winner, often said to be the best dancer ever, earner of the first 40. Like, again, I would like us all to realize that attitudes have changed. And also that when I see, there's a comment I see sometimes that like actually drives me insane, is that people go, if you want people with dance experience, you should just make a new show because it's for beginners. Babe, Winner of series two, our dance experience. If you want a show with just beginners, maybe you should be the one making a new show.
Yep. And again, I think it's also good to note here that it seems as though the team was wanting guaranteed good dances. The production team want
Mhm.
guaranteed good dances. So they're looking for a range of abilities. Um, this brings us to series three and actually kind of does opposite day of what I've just said, in which, yeah, we had a few actors who've been to some drama schools. We had an Olympic hurdler. We had athletes, but actually there wasn't really dance experience going on here.
Mhm.
So it was the first experience with no dance experience. And sure, it ran the same as every other series. People were good, people were bad. But simply just to throw that there is variety in there, we did have a series with no dance experience or little dance experience.
Well, but then we get to series four, guys.
Hmm.
In this series, we have some actors with some like theatre experience. We also have, do you know who came fourth this year? EastEnders Louisa Lytton, who trained at Sylvia Young, a well-known musical theatre school, which I think is maybe where Amber Davis went,
You're going to
maybe.
hear this school a lot.
And isn't it crazy that now, if somebody was to get cast and went to Sylvia Young, so much hate, dance offs, trolling. I don't remember Louisa Lytton getting trolling. I remember she was 16 and it was like she's so young. But I don't remember like I know social media was different then as well because it was like what
Yeah.
2007 or something. So like Also we have that year Emma Bunton from the Spice Girls, huge name by the way, possibly the biggest name Strictly's ever had. Spice Girls, pop group, not like not necessarily like the biggest dancers, but it's not like they stood still on stage, is it? So
Hmm.
again, but then, guys, do you remember when Fleur Reese did Strictly and she got loads of hate for being a pop star who could dance? Do you remember when JB Gill was said to be a professional dancer because he can chest bump in JLS? Yet we had Emma Bunton in 2007 and she came third, no problem. Interesting.
There's a lot going on. And that'll bring us to series five. By the way, we will probably miss people with
Yeah,
experience. This isn't the absolute history. We also might get slight facts a little wrong because we have just gone through every series, looked at everyone, and tried to source their abilities. Anyway, this brings us to series six, which has one of the best abilitied winners ever, who then went on to be a judge, um, Alicia Dixon.
Queen.
She was scouted for Mystique at a dance school. She was in literally doing her dancing when she got scouted to be in a like a girl pop group.
M to the I to the S to the W Q. No, I tried to do the bit. I can't spell it. M to the I to the S T double E Q. Inter. Mystique.
Keep going and you might get scouted next, Poppy. Um, but you may think this series, okay, so Alicia won, and well, she was expected because she has dance experience. Yes, she does have dance experience, absolutely. So did second place Matt D'Angelo. So did third place Gethin Jones. So did fourth place Letitia Dean. All top four contestants that year had dance experience. The person with the least is Gethin Jones. He performed in musical theatre all through his childhood and teen years. So he has some experience, but that's not that specific. He didn't go to necessarily a dance school as far as we can tell. Matt D'Angelo and Letitia Dean both went to Sylvia Young. They are also in the same Sylvia Young dance school or musical theatre school that a bunch of the other names are. So while, yes, Alicia Dixon had a lot of experience and was very good, the reason all of our finalists were good that year is because they had experience. This series was led by people with dance experience. And back
That's
then, as far as I'm
crazy.
aware, no one cared. No one had a problem.
Imagine if that happened this year. Imagine
Hmm.
if they said, we've got two Sylvia Young graduates, this guy performed musical theatre, and she got scouted at a dance school. The internet would go insane. Like, the
Hmm.
level of trolling would be mental. Guys, actually, we're just reciting 2007, 8, I can't
Hmm.
count, but
No
we're just
idea.
going back in time.
And I would
Another,
say, as a newer Strictly fan who didn't watch
hmm,
this series, none of those names other than Alicia have dances that I'm aware of as like the best dances of all time, sort of thing.
hmm
So even though they all have experience, it hasn't it hasn't meant that they're like regarded as the strongest dancers we've ever had either,
Yeah.
you know? And some of the best dancers have been people that haven't had dance experience as well. But we'll get there.
Well, the next year also won by someone with dance experience, Tom Chambers, who known for Holby City. However, first of all, he trained at the National Youth Music Theatre place. Don't know. But this is
Great.
what I found fascinating. This is from Wikipedia, so maybe take it with a pinch of salt. But it'd be a weird thing to put on Wikipedia if it was false. Um, he had such an interest in dance that he recreated a sequence by Fred Astaire from a film where he like dances on um a drum kit, and that was part of his show reel for when he booked Holby. So again, we're getting discovered through our dance like skills. Then going on Strictly, you wouldn't go, he's a dancer. You wouldn't be going and going, you know. He's not known for dance, but it's back there. It's in his locker. It's not like he's a
And
complete newbie.
I have to say this is through personal experience here as well. Having studied drama, I also did dance just as part of the course, but my lead was drama. So actually, everyone that studied did a little, yeah, cancel me. I'm not that good at dancing. I'm really not. It was like a hour a
Sure.
week, but it was still some dance. And then all sort of drama schools that I was looking into potentially to continue my studies, which I didn't do, they do dance as part of your course. So any actor that you see that went to a drama school probably did study at least some form of movement, if not actual dance. So it's just sort of a given that it happens. But I will say I've skipped ahead a few. The reason I was saying this whole thing about actors and dance experience is there was a bunch of actors over the next few series that I looked at. I'm going to skip to 11. So if you have any specifics until then, take it away,
Well,
Poppy.
in Series 8, first of all, we had Destiny's Child, Michelle Williams, which is still crazy that even happened. Like, honestly, imagine that
And you
now.
say
But
Emma
all
Bunton's the most famous person we've
true. It's hard to pick.
had.
But, like, imagine now if Kelly Rowland turned up on Strictly Come Dancing, everyone would hate her. I mean, I feel like people didn't necessarily like Michelle, but I think that's because she's American.
Hmm.
I don't think the dance experience was the problem here. We also had, as you say, multiple actors. You had both Patsy Kensit and Scott Maslin, who both had some dance experience and had studied at like, music and drama schools. Matt Baker also went to drama school. He was in amateur productions of Grease. He also did gymnastics. So again, we're looking at, you know, something kind of advantageous. Is that a word? And then we have the winner, who was Cara Toynton, who's a model. Was she? Model, and was she in a soap? Actually, I don't remember. So sorry to Cara Taunton. But
I have
she
no
won.
idea. I didn't
She
watch this year.
was in some Amdram musical. She was in Sound of Music, not professionally, but like, you know, bit of dance in there. Also, interestingly, and this raises a conversation that has happened more in recent years, she 2 years prior did the sports relief version of Strictly. And of course, last year we had Harry Aitkins Ariti after doing the Christmas special. Was that an advantage? You had Jamie Borthwick after doing the Christmas special. Was that an advantage? Well, that's been a thing before of people doing variations and then doing the main series. So again, it's not a thing that's new. It's not like a crazy unfair thing that's happened. It's no, guys, that's happened before.
Yep. Um. So my phone has done the biggest typo to the point where I don't even know what the name is supposed to be.
Is this also 2011 or series 11?
Series 11.
Can I do series 10 because this is also
You do
juicy.
series 10. Yeah.
So, series 10, fantastic series, may I say. 2012, prime Britain, right? We've got the Olympics, we've got the Jubilee. We're having a great time.
Wow.
The show is won by Lewis Smith, gymnast. Not necessarily a dance experience, but there's something in there that's, I would suggest if you're a gymnast, you're probably going to be better at dance than, you know, a rugby player, perhaps. Also, we have in the final, great final, Kimberly Walsh of Girls Aloud. Queen. Love Kimberly. Girls Aloud dance, guys. So, hello,
Hmm.
dance experience. We also have Denise Van Outen. musical theatre star Denise Van Outen was literally in Chicago. What are you going to do
Mm-hmm.
now if you get someone from Chicago? Look at how people treated Leighton and Amber. Awful. Now, again, I don't remember completely. Maybe it was the 2012 of it all. We were having a great time. I don't remember Denise Van Outen getting like severe hate, but maybe she did. But again, social media was different. But point is, she made the final. She did a great Charleston, guys. If you've not looked it up, look up Denise Van Outen Charleston. It's brilliant. And then also
Mm-hmm.
we had this is also the era where you would get eliminated before, like partway through the final. Harsh. We had Danny Harmer,
Yeah.
who also had some. She did
Obsessed with
Stagecoach. So
Danny
again,
Harmer.
we have some experience. So all there's a lot of 2012, a lot of dance experience going on. You also have Nikki Byrne from Westlife. We were debating doing Westlife dance. Not
I
sure,
said
but
no.
like I said, I'll write him down. Don't know. And even Sid Owen from EastEnders, Ricky, he went to theatre school. So you've got again a very dance heavy, experience
Yeah.
heavy series. But I don't think Backlash, unless I mean, I don't know, but like, I don't
Yeah.
think they get good
I don't think so. I
reception
mean,
now.
I don't remember, but I would say that this is sort of the point we'll be getting to a little bit is that it's again the dance experience doesn't seem to be what people are mad about. It's the fact they're already good, but that in itself is just crazy to
Yeah.
think that way because some people are good like just naturally as well. So next up we had, I wouldn't call her a dancer, but in series 11 we had Sophie Ellis Bextor, pop star. But we also had Natalie
Gameti.
Gumedi
Ali
from Corey,
Gameti.
who
Yes.
did some dance training historically. It says the internet. Um, and again, that year less of a dance training year. We had Susanna Reid and Abby Clancy as our top two, which is kind of wild to me to
Yeah,
think
that's really
Susanna Reid
random.
was top two for Strictly. But here we
Mm.
are. Not so much dance experience there, at least none that's advertised.
Well, then the next series, we have some pop stars in there. We've got Pixie Lott, we've got Frankie Bridge, we've got Simon Webb, the Blue Dance again. I don't know if he counts, but like, we've got some people with some musicality and some level of dance experience. The winner of that year, which by the way, 2014, brilliant series of the show, was Caroline Flack, who presenter. I don't think you look at Caroline Flack and go, that's a dancer. She did, however, study dance and musical theatre. So again, we've got some sneaky dance experience, which I also do think people have got more into their research of this in the last few years. Like it used to be, like they didn't care. Then they started caring if it was like you're like, hello, my job is sometimes dancer. And now it's like people dig into things and go, well, actually, Karen Carney dancer. Like if this was now,
Mm-hmm.
they'd probably be like, well,
Yeah.
actually, she studied musical theatre and dance, and so she shouldn't be on the show. Whereas I only know that because I had no idea until literally about 25 minutes ago.
Yeah. I think actually in saying that as well, the reason I'm so passionate about it when I say I went and studied this is because I know that I'm not good. Like it's not me being humble. I'm like I've studied it and I if I went on the show and people were like he has this crazy advantage because he studied it, I'd be like I don't because I did an hour a week for a couple years. That's not that much. I'm not good. Like I have rhythm, but that's because I play musical instruments and
Mhm.
have my whole life. Are we going to call that an advantage? I don't
I
know.
am.
Yeah, let's call it ringer. Anyway, this brings us to series 13, and it was probably the name I did know because I've thought about making this TikTok before, but it was the name that's most surprising. I'm going to start with the less surprising one. Maybe in second place, Kelly Birth. Uh, went to Sylvia Young. Another one.
Another one,
Another one.
thank you.
But winner of series 13, Jay McGuinness,
Hmm.
at 12 decided to go to a dance school because he had a passion for dance. And then after he finished studying there, he went on to another dance school. And so he literally studied dance and then ended up in a boy band that don't really dance and was kind of the shy seeming one from the boy band. So people
Yes.
instantly are like, he's not going to be that good. He's, oh my goodness, suddenly he's really good. Well, yes, he's actually studied dance. He was training to be a dancer. He is the Leighton, the Amber of that the Tasha
Mm.
of that series. But because he wasn't presented as such, he was
See, I think
loved.
you've unlocked something. It's
Mm.
all about the like public perception because people
Hmm.
went, Tasha said on Love Island that she's a dancer. So
Yeah.
therefore but actually, as you say, they probably had similar levels of training, but you didn't look at Jane
Hmm.
McGuinness and go, oh, that's a dancer.
Hmm.
That's two. That's two.
Like it actually says it's like
Oh,
if when you look at all these actors, they're like did drama and theater and a bit of dance, but like Jay was from the age of 12 actively studying dance. That was his thing. He can also sing, but that's just because he can sing. Yeah. So the top two
well,
that year, both dancers.
we have the next year someone who a lot of people say should have won. Like this, if you say who's the biggest robbery, a lot of people say Danny Mac. Danny Mac, who is highly trained, who went to an arts education school, then graduated from RADA and had been in musicals from childhood. Like, again, we have a highly trained person, but people
Mm-hmm.
didn't mind. Like, it's really weird to look back and see the different attitudes because
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine if Danny went on Strictly Now, he would get the same reaction at all. I feel like it would be so much horrible stuff written about him because him and Lewis Cope probably aren't that different, and yet
Mm-hmm.
wildly different attitudes. And even actually, Lewis didn't even get the worst of it. You had Amber who got it way worse than Lewis. Like, it's really crazy the way that attitude change and that, you look
Yeah.
back and you're like, oh, Danny Mac should have won. But now we
Yeah.
have the attitude of if you've gone in with dance experience, we know you're not going to win. Like, you're
Yeah.
probably, like, if you're good, you're not going to be the winner, which is just how we think now. Even when we spoke to Kai, he said that.
Yeah. They
But
just
then we
know
look
that.
back, it's crazy. I'm
And
not
I
going
would
to say
say as
it's crazy.
well, it's crazy. That it's also, I think, and we can maybe delve more into this later. The idea that the dance experience stands out more now, but or something like that. I don't know, but actually, I would argue the past few series, the entire standard of the standard of the entire cast has been higher,
Yeah.
and partly because maybe they're choosing people that they think would be the case, but I don't think that's true. I think it's because they're trying a lot harder. I mean, we've
Hmm.
seen it from the amount of injuries we're getting and stuff now.
Okay.
Everyone that's on Strictly is desperate to win. They are putting in the hours, morning, noon, night, and beyond. And so I think there's just, yeah, the experienced dancers are also putting in all those extra hours instead of being like, I'm already good. So I'm going to just do what I need to do to get through to the next week. We get people
Yeah.
like Tasha, who's literally training for 14 hours a day still to do her absolute best on Strictly, you know?
Hmm.
Anyway, series 15. We had Molly King of the Saturdays, girl
Yeah.
group, bit of dancing,
There's a bit of
fine.
dancing there.
We had one of the biggest robberies, early elimination, Aston Marigold from JLS.
Yeah. Hmm.
He is the like dancer from JLS as well. That was like his thing. He was also the best
Yeah.
singer, but like he could do flips and tricks and dance.
All right.
Um,
Sorry, Justice for
I j-
Marvin.
I just mean in his time on X Factor.
Sorry, Justice for JB.
Justice for JB.
I wouldn't
No
say
justice.
Arisha is the best. Sorry.
Yeah, no justice. Okay. And
Sorry.
then finalist Alexandra Burke.
Oh,
Again,
Queen.
like when you win X Factor, particularly not necessarily for everyone, but particularly for like the females that win X Factor, they put you through a like training scheme. So
Mm.
Alexandra could sing on X Factor, and then you look at her first couple of music videos, and they had her dancing too. She was trained to dance. Sure, she wasn't training all of her life, but
Yeah.
she was trained to dance.
And you
Um,
might say she could do it even better in Broken Heels.
oh, she for sure could, and that song is a bop. That song is an
That's true.
absolute bop. But
I
anyway,
think,
we're as we get to the newer series, the more recent series as well, we're not going to spend as much time on them because
yeah.
both the noise got louder and also hopefully it's in your memories as well.
And like, I think this is where we get the turning point because I think
Hmm.
Alexandra Burke she was in quite a few dance offs. Is it because of the British public don't love a woman of colour? Is it because she's got dance experience? Can't be sure, but there is a trend.
It's a
Because
bit of both,
we
probably. Yeah.
see the next year. So we have Charles Venn. I don't think Charles Venn got particular heat for having dance experience. He studied performing arts. So casualty actor, not known dancer, you know. We also have in the final Ashley Roberts and Faye Tozer, both of whom in bands where they dance. Now, Ashley, much more of a dancer than Faye, and got a lot of heat for it. Like, this is where we start. I feel like poor Ashley Roberts, poor thing, became the turning point of this is now where we have a problem is Ashley because, and I see all sorts of things. I saw someone say, I only had a problem with Ashley because she was a judge on Dancing on Ice. Yeah, but she was still a pussycat doll though, wasn't she? Like, she wasn't an ice skater either. Like, that doesn't actually mean she's got expertise. She obviously was there because she knows performance. She wasn't there because she's
Did
an
you
ice skating
hear
expert.
there was a baby crying? I wonder if it picked up on the
I
mic. Anyway, carry on.
didn't. But yeah, I think Ashley definitely got a lot more hate than Faye. They were both
Mm-hmm.
great. I wanted one of them to win. Didn't happen. But
Yeah.
this is, I think, where we start seeing more hatred of people with dance experience.
But and I think it should be noted that the two most like hated people that we've just mentioned, like Alexandra Burke a bit, she was in a lot of dance offs, and then like actively towards Ashley, but then weirdly the series after Karim,
Mm,
he also trained in dance, has arguably and definitely both of our favorite dance of all time,
yeah.
and yet he seemed to get through it all
Hmm.
without that much hate. So, and this is going to be part of what we talk about later, but is the hate really towards the dance experience, or is it because they found a reason to not? They decided they don't like the person, and it's easier to just justify the hate by going, dance experience.
That's
Maybe.
so juicy.
But
We
Karim
have,
had a lot of dance experience. He's currently
yeah,
performing in musicals. He is a dancer, and we love him. But
yeah.
yeah.
We have in 2020. That 2020 is a different one because it's a shorter series. There weren't as many celebs, so there's less dance experience because there's literally less celebrities. But you did have in the
Hmm.
final Maisie Smith, who studied musical theatre, and Harvey, pop star. But you also had Caroline Quentin, who has been in so many musicals. Did Caroline Quentin get hate for being having dance experience? Nope. Did people hate
No.
Maisie Smith for it? Yep. Did they
Hmm.
both do musical theatre? Yeah.
Hmm.
But only one of them, and I think you're right about like they didn't like Maisie because she's a confident young woman, and they're gonna say the reason they don't like Maisie is, oh, well, it's not fair. She's got dance experience,
Hmm.
guys.
Yep.
She also had done one of, I think it was a Children in Need special, like she'd done a Strictly special before, so she had
Yeah.
experience there as well. But Caroline Quentin,
Yep.
she licked Johannes. I think that's the thing she got the most hate for was licking Johannes.
Yeah. I mean, it's yeah. There's a series, not the next one I'm about to say, but the one after, where again it very much felt like let's pick someone and they can be the target because there was so many you could have chosen, you just didn't do your
Yeah,
research. Anyway, series
and
19,
that's on you.
similarly, and that's on you. Similarly, a bit of a different year. This year, the only person that really on my shorter deep dive was Reese, who has performed in musical theatre growing
Mhm.
up, CBBC presenter, and he was very good from the get go. So that does explain it a bit more. There was a bit of like negativity towards him, but that was mostly because him and Nancy were really high energy, and some people just didn't like
Yeah.
that. I loved
Hmm.
him. I thought he was
Same.
great. Um,
Same.
but yeah. Anyway, that series, I
Um,
think everyone else was chill.
So the next series we had Molly Rainford and Fleur East, both getting lots of hate
Hmm.
for dance experience, both being in lots of dance offs, both being mixed race women. Interesting. Almost as if once again they found something they don't like and they're looking for an excuse. But interestingly, neither of them actually went out in the semi-final. It was expected that that was finally going to be the dance off against the two of them, and one of them would leave. But no, actually, who went out was Will Mellor. Will Mellor, who met his literal wife while doing a musical. Did Will Mellor get an ounce of hate for that? Nope, not that. Also, to be clear, we're not saying anyone should get any hate, but like, it's just very interesting how people pick and choose. You should choose
Yeah.
no one. Crazy concept, guys. Just maybe just
Just be
don't.
nice.
Just be
Be
nice.
nice.
But
Just
like,
try.
while you're being like,
Also,
I can't believe flirty, blah, blah, like, that's not fair. She shouldn't. Guys, Will Mellor's also been in musical. Like, that man did a
we
really
also
good dive
realize,
week one. Wonder
yeah,
why.
wonder why. We also realize we're preaching to the choir here because yous are not those people. But we're just giving you also the argument you can use if you need it, you know?
True. You're like,
This
if
is
you
what
get
we're here
yourself in
to
a
do.
comment section, we've got the
Yeah,
receipts. You're like, quick, let me get up Strictly Talk. Caroline Quentin.
here we go. Boom. Yeah. Anytime someone says blah 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 dance experience shouldn't be allowed, just link this whole podcast.
Yeah.
We'll lecture them.
Or just
That's what
like
we're here
zoom,
for.
just scroll across, pick a random point, pick our quote, put it in. They're
Hmm
like, why have they replied to dance experience? Talking about Martin dumplings. Cool act.
um, so we're on series 21 now, and this for
21.
me was sort of the first like so Molly and Fleur, that was crazy, and it felt like it was racism.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it definitely felt like that. Um, And then we got the double whammy the next year with Leighton, where there was blatant homophobia happening,
Mm-hmm.
there was blatant racism happening,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of it was under the guise of he's already a dancer, why is he on the show? And so I think it was people from all avenues of hate trying to come together to be like, he doesn't deserve to be
Yeah.
here. But
You
once
even had,
again, let's. Mm,
I was gonna say, you even had the turfs chiming in because he was he did dressed as for
yeah,
movie week. He was a woman, and they were like,
yes.
"Why is he in woman face?" Guys, that's not a thing. But good luck.
Yeah, and it was horrendous. It was awful. But he, similar to someone like Jay McGuinness, doesn't have more dance experience. And actually, yes, he was incredible, but he could just do some gymnastic tricks at
Hmm.
first that made him look better than he was. By the end, he's incredible. Don't get me wrong, love the guy. He just he just was able to show off his skills in a way that some people couldn't, maybe. But
Hmm.
also, taking this series, Nigel made it to the final or just before. No, he injured and then had to
We're
leave.
injured.
Also trained in dance. He's just not a young man who was queer and black. He was a middle aged man who was also very good, but also has trained in dance.
But also very white.
But also very white.
Well,
Um, and yet not an ounce of negativity towards them. Once again, I'm not saying there should have been. There should have been none towards any of them. But it was palatable with Nigel for a lot
hmm,
of people because Nigel was a palatable person to all these hateful people, and Leighton wasn't. Leighton was when I started really getting up in arms on the internet as well. I think this was the first series where I posted a few videos being like, you guys are embarrassing. You need to stop being hateful. But there was a few other people that series as well with dance experience. If you go back and look at the cast, I'm not going to list them. I can't remember. But I just remember there was, and I was like, I'll remember when I film. I don't. But if
oh,
you go back and look at the cast and go through all their experience, there are a few dance experience people. It's going back to what I was saying earlier. Leighton outshone them all, sure. Doesn't mean he was the only one with dance experience. It just means he was the one that was putting it to the best use on a show like Strictly.
yeah. Also, the most important thing in every single one of these people, they don't have ballroom and Latin training, and ballroom and
Yes.
Latin's not the same as other dance styles. And I saw people say, "Well, Leighton teaches dance." That's not fair. Leighton doesn't teach cha-cha-cha. He teaches like musical theatre. Like it's a very different thing. And even
Mm-hmm.
I did a dance class with Leighton and Nikita during the live tour this year. When it was the more like Latin steps, Nikita taught it. When it wasn't, Leighton taught it. So
Mm.
like Leighton's not even teaching it now. He's done it. Like it's just
Yeah.
you're nitpicking and looking for things and being like, oh, it's unfair because this. It's like right, but does he teach the things that he's currently learning? No. And
Mm-hmm.
also, if he was as, it's also the thing of like people say that, he teaches dance, it's not fair. He didn't come in week one and score a 10. Like, you go back and watch his week one samba, it's good for week one. By the time where he is at the end, it's not the same, is it?
Yeah.
If he was as good as you say week one, if he was cheating week one, he wouldn't have improved because the pros aren't
Yep.
improving because they're already experts in it. So it's
Yep.
just like you're literally just not correct.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And
That's it.
we see a similar thing the next year because that series, again, we have quite a bit of dance experience. Tasha got so much hate for it. Bearing in mind, so you have first of all Leighton hugely, pushing boundaries, being in a same-sex partnership. Not the first to do it, but I think every time it happens, you're still pushing boundaries. You're still doing
Yeah.
great stuff for representation. Then you have
Yeah.
Tasha, first contestant with a cochlear implant, second contestant who's deaf. Like you're pushing boundaries. You're showing people what you can achieve. You're there's kids who have cochlear implants who were then decorating them because they saw Tasha on TV. Like that's huge.
Yeah.
And people were
Hmm.
mad because when she went on Love Island at like what, 24? I don't know how old she was when she did Love Island, 23, 22, whatever. When she went on Love Island, she said her job was dancer. Guys, can I be real for a second? If I went on Love Island, am I going, my job is barista, or am I going, oh, I do social media? Like
Yeah, you're
you're
picking the
not gonna
cooler
go,
one.
you're gonna pick the cooler one. When she said
Yeah.
she did dance, she studied, she did ballet, she did commercial. That's not the same as ballroom and Latin.
Yeah.
She did
Once again,
some
same
music
amount as Jay
videos.
McGuinness.
Yeah, she did some music videos. Again, it's
So did
not
Jay
the same,
McGuinness.
not the same thing, is there? And
Yeah.
also, I do see people say, well, how comes Jake Lee is a commercial dancer, but he's an extra dancer on Strictly? Guys, this is Jake's entire job, and he's like a world class. Not saying Tasha's not a good dancer, but like she's not a world class, like multi-winning commercial dancer.
Yeah.
She is one of many people who went to a dance school and studied a style of dance. It's
Yep.
not the
And
same
also with
thing.
Jake Lee, if he's choreographing, it's not a ballroom or Latin dance. It was like the
Yeah,
Britney dance. If he's in a dance, he's not usually doing the most extreme ballroom and Latin stuff. He's doing the more commercially dancing. He's
yeah,
also a BBC employee or like a TV network employee who does all the different shows. So
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you're not
I made
seeing
a
him go on
video.
Britain's Got Talent doing ballroom, are ya? He's there
Exactly.
with he's carrying Mr. Cherry.
Mhm. I did a video about um Tasha, but it reigns true for Leighton. It reigns true for all of the contestants that especially ones that um some people for whatever reason just decide based on their differences to be hateful towards them. You don't have to love everyone on a show, but
Hmm.
you have to learn to accept the fact that someone like Tasha is going on the show. If you don't want her there, fine. She's not going on the show for you. She's going
That
on
part.
for all the people that it inspires, all the people that now feel seen because someone like them is on TV. Same for Leighton. Same for anyone. You don't need all 15 contestants to represent you, but sometimes you get a series where you feel like not a single one of those 15 contestants represents you, and then that becomes, if you're a child watching the show that wants to try and become themselves, that becomes harder. If you're watching a show where you see yourself, even if it's just in one of the 15 contestants, it can mean the world. So
Hmm.
I just don't understand why people feel the need to hop on a hateful bandwagon instead of just moving past it. I don't get it. I simply
Yeah.
cannot comprehend it.
Like it's at the end of the day, it's not that deep. Like
It's not that deep.
at the end of the day, the
Exactly.
worst somebody is achieving is a good dance. Like,
Yeah.
can we take a minute? The worst somebody
Hmm.
is doing is doing a good dance, and then people say, oh, but they sent someone else home. Right, but somebody's going to have to go home. If the person they're sending home is bottom of the leaderboard, it's not actually. Leighton didn't send home like whoever went out week one. That wasn't.
Yeah.
He didn't send them home. Like Tasha
No.
didn't send home Pete Wicks. Like
No.
she just was
In
better at the dancing than him, as were other
sure,
people.
I'll accept maybe in the like semi-final. Sometimes you're like, well, if the more popular person gets sent home or whatever, the person getting sent home is getting sent home because the public didn't vote for them. They're at the
Hmm.
bottom of the leaderboard or they're at the bottom of the public vote or like near the bottom, so they end up in the bottom two. Sure, this other person might also be in the bottom two, but that means they're the two least popular people.
Hmm.
So,
Also, I would like to bring up another conversation that I see, especially that happened in Leighton's series, but it's also happened more recently with who was in it last year, is sometimes there's contestants on Strictly that I don't like. And the reason I don't like them is because of the things they stand for and what their casting means. And it's
mhm,
a problem. So, same year as Leighton, there was Amanda Abington. And a lot of people, including me, didn't like her casting because
yeah,
of the transphobic things she said. And because the people voting for her were transphobic people using her platforming on Strictly to justify what they said. And that is
yeah,
harmful. Leighton
yeah,
dancing a good dance, the worst that's going to happen is someone may get sent home who maybe have reached the end of their dance journey anyway. Somebody
yeah,
like Amanda Abington being cast, the worst that's going to happen is you're like justifying and legitimizing harmful views. Same thing with Thomas Skinner. Worst thing that happened on who was on the show last year? Never seen it. Oh, Amber. The worst
Karen,
thing,
Amber, Lewis.
yeah, the worst thing Amber's gonna do is do a really good dance. The worst thing he's doing is spreading hateful messages. And that's a really important difference that it blows my mind that I ever had to explain to people. But I still have people in my comments being like, well, you're being hateful and I'm not, and I've also said these can be perfectly nice people, person to person. You just have to think about casting on a TV show and what things mean. And that
Hmm.
at the end of the day, someone being a good dancer isn't actually that deep in the grand scheme of things, whereas other things can be. And also,
No.
again, like we've established, it tends to be the people that don't, the people that, hello, the people that get more hate for having dance experience tend to have something else that makes them a minority that other people don't like but want an excuse to hate them for. And
Yeah.
in them having that thing that makes them a minority, they're often being representative for people and being good role models
Hmm.
for people. So again, the good outweighs not the bad because I don't think dance experience is bad, but it's like there's a benefit to being to them being on the show that
Hmm.
there's a sentence in there somewhere.
There's something, and we get it.
There's something in there.
Yeah. Well, we'll close out the series with last year, and we'll be really quick because it's fresh in our minds. We've
It just
spoken about
happened,
this
didn't
series
it?
before. Just happened. We had Karen, Amber Lewis, all with dance experience. Um, People only worked out that Karen had dance experience later on. She had the highest score in week one, and everyone's like, she's amazing. She had higher score than Lewis. She had a higher score than Amber. Yeah, well, Amber, fair enough, only did one day of rehearsal, but still. Point being, you heard that Amber and Lewis were good dancers, so you got mad that they were good. You didn't know that Karen was expected to be good and didn't get mad when she was good.
You're so
And then
smart.
Amber,
That's
and
so
then,
true.
sorry, Karen, right? And then Karen had a dip and, she almost got eliminated, but she made it back and she won the series. And it was a great series. And but I also think this is now more a social media problem. It was probably the series with the most negativity. There was George Clark, and you either loved him, or if you didn't love him, the people that loved him, a very select few of the people that loved him would come at you for that. So there was this whole discourse about George being on it, Amber with dance experience, Lewis with dance experience. When people worked out Karen had dance experience, and then there was so much to it. Um, but yeah, the bottom line of it though is a lot of what the people were moaning about, a lot of the dance experience discussion discourse was the fact that this shouldn't be allowed. I can't believe they're now doing this, but I think we've proven with this video they've always been doing it. It's always been a thing. It's not new. Um, I want to quickly touch on, unless you have something to say about the latest series.
I do have something to say about the latest series.
Set.
Do you know who else had dance experience and yeah, got a lot of hate and was repeatedly, to people's. Let me try again.
Mm,
Do you know else who? Do you know who else
Descendants.
on? Do you know who else from the last series had dance experience and yet was being told that she should go home and she's not good enough to be on Strictly and all these sorts of things? Ellie Goldstein. So wait a minute. It's new and shouldn't be allowed to have people with dance experience. Yet somebody who has done hip hop, because you don't think she is good enough, it
Mm-hmm,
doesn't matter suddenly. Like if you don't think people
mm-hmm,
should have dance experience, why was it okay for her to have dance? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, the biggest issue with this argument is the lack of consistency for it. We've seen across
mm-hmm,
time there's a lack of consistency, and there used to be
mm-hmm.
no problem with it, and now there is. It's picking and choosing. Oh, well, she's not good enough, so I actually don't worry about her dance experience. Oh, that's crazy because I thought you said it was cheating 5 minutes ago. Or it's as
Mm-hmm.
you say, like whether you perceive the dance experience, someone like Jay McGuinness or Karen Carney's week one dance, where there wasn't the same perception of having dance experience, it didn't matter. And then when
Yep.
you find out someone does have dance experience, then it's a problem. Like there's such a lack of consistency from people with this argument because guess what? It's not a good argument that I can't take you seriously. Like,
No,
make your minds
literally.
up. Telling us we need to find a new show if we want people with dance experience. Meanwhile, you can't even keep track.
um, yeah, so I'll bring it on to the other point that I really quickly want to make, and then we'll get onto our hot take, which I've worked out how to word the hot take,
Love
if you'll
that.
allow me so. But Dancing with the Stars in America
Yes.
actively look for a cast of generally strong dancers. Usually,
Mm.
the winner or the finalists of Dancing with the Stars are all incredible dancers. We've had Charlie D'Amelio. She is
Hmm.
just a dancer, not just, but
Yeah.
her job is a dancer. She is a dancer, and people like it there. And the show
Yeah.
is excelling more than it has before. Last series was their most viewed series ever. And like 8 out of the 12 contestants, or however many there were all incredible dancers. Several of the finalists pretty much are just dancers that are known for something else, but they are dancers. So it's loved there. And I think it's also, yeah, sure, there's probably a cultural reason there. Like an American audience maybe want different things than the UK audience, but point being, the other versions of the show have dance experience too. So again, the argument of this isn't what Strictly is, this is not what it's supposed to be. We've been doing it forever, and so have they. It's just what to expect. The other thing I wanted to say in general is, first of all, it's an entertainment show where the public get to vote. So while, yes, it's a dance competition that the judges are putting their opinions into, the public get to decide up to a point. And also, it's just not that deep. They get paid to be there. Sure, I think some of them get paid more the longer they last, but at the end of the day, they're celebrities doing a TV show on a Saturday night to entertain us. They want a range of ability. They want us to laugh, they want us to cry, they want us to watch good dances, and they probably want us to see some bad ones too. But the only way they can guarantee that we get a range is by having people they can rely on, hence casting these people. Which brings me to my hot take, which is hot take. I think anyone or the majority of people that say they hate dance experience on Strictly are just using dance experience as their excuse to be hateful towards a minority. And that's
Yeah.
that's the bottom line. I
Hmm.
think yes, it has spread now because the way social media works is that there are more and more people and so more and more voices, and then you read something and you repeat it, and you might actually read it as I hate this person because of dance experience, and that's what you've taken away from it. But I think at its core, a lot of this discourse about dance experience stemmed from trying to find an excuse to hate a certain celebrity because you either just don't like them or they exist as someone that you've decided you're against their existence. And I think we're seeing it more and more with people like Tasha and Leighton, who are minorities, who have had some of the most hate, and most of it is shrouded in, yeah, but it stems from dance experience. It doesn't stem because I have a problem with her being deaf or a problem with him being gay, you know? And that's my hot take.
I think you're right. I think our evidence has proved it.
I
I
think our
have
evidence has proved it.
a couple more points that I would like to add to
Please.
our conversation. First of all, the being mad at people with dance experience, I also think is silly because people with dance experience are people who are passionate about dance, and this is a show where people dance. So you want people who are going to be enjoying it and who are going to be like, first of all, from like a mental health point of view or whatever, right? For well-being, you want the contestants to be enjoying themselves. And also, the whole show is about learning a skill. If you're somebody
Yeah.
who's like, I love commercial dance, but I don't know ballroom and Latin, you're probably going to have a great time learning that. You're probably going to be someone who's going to really embrace it. And also, what you've earned from it is you've learned this skill and you've developed this thing that you really enjoy. That's not a bad thing. Like, it's an entertainment show, as we said. Like, yes, it's a dance competition, but it's also for entertainment, and all those kind of qualities are entertaining and are uplifting and are really good qualities. Another point is the professional dancers on the show. I know for a fact to get tired at these. I know for a fact get tired at this argument because these people have worked their butts off for decades. They're professional dancers have worked since they're children. They have worked for so long to be masters of what is a very specific and intricate dance style. You're then going to come online and be like, JB Gill shouldn't be on here because he's a professional, and you think JLS is the same thing, you're going to say Tasha's a pro. Meanwhile, why is Ali Ash turning up for work then? Like, she's never danced with a partner pre Strictly, but you think
Mm-hmm.
she's the set. Like, do you know what I mean? It's like, it's
Mm-hmm.
an insult to what these people do. It's like, why do they bother teaching them then? Like,
Yeah.
imagine being Ali Ash and being like, oh, I've put all this effort into this dance and I've taught it, and then people go, well, it's not fair because she's a professional. You'd be like, what? Well, I'm not bothered
Yeah.
then. Like every single, like Nikita's probably like, I've had it twice now. Why am I bothering choreographing this stuff and teaching it? Because clearly I'm not needed. Like it's just it's just
Yeah.
silly to
I
pretend that
think it
it's not like it's a different skill.
yeah. On that, I think I've been watching Dancing with the Stars the Next Pro where they look for their next
Yeah.
pro dancer, and there's one lady on it, I think her name is Adele, And she's
Mm.
never made it to the final of a competition. She's always in the semifinals. My goodness, she is incredible at dancing, and she's not won or made it to the final of any big tournament. And that just
Mm.
goes to show how competitive it is, how specific it is. I'm watching her. I would never know. If she could tell me she's a 10-time world champion, I believe her because she's that good.
Mm.
Um, and so what you're saying to it is discrediting to our pro dancers who have trained since they were 2 years old and have won world championships to say that it's this crazy advantage. Now, don't get me wrong. One thing we will say, or I will say, is there's a bit of an advantage, but the
Yeah,
judges will be harsher. We're not saying there's not an
true.
advantage. I'm also not saying you have to vote for the person with dance experience because they're the best. I don't care who you vote for. Vote for your favorite. That's the point. But the bottom
Mm.
line of this whole thing is, hey, hey everyone, just be nice.
Yeah. And
Your
like,
some of the arguments are wrong anyway, and also they're just unnecessary, regardless of how
and
much validity there is.
yeah, and to add on, as you say, it's an advantage. It's also not the only advantage. And I think people sometimes forget that is, yeah, it's an advantage in terms of the dance skill, but people who are actors really often do beautifully expressive dances. They may not have the footwork, but the performance skill is brilliant. That's going to be an
Mm-hmm.
advantage against some people. There'll be presenters who are
Mm-hmm.
really used to live TV and are really comfortable with that element of it. And that's going to be an advantage against other people who are really nervous. Like, there's lots of ways to have an advantage. There's not just one
Mm-hmm.
element to the show. There may be people, it's as much about at this point, like the VT and the conversation with Claudia. If you're a comedian, you're going to do really well at that. And so, again, that's an
Yeah.
advantage. Like, there's different ways to have advantages. And I think pretending there's only one
Yeah.
you're kind of missing the whole, what the show is. And
Yeah.
that was also like the final point I've written down was about advantages. And you started off, and I think so much.
We're so good. Yeah, I
Mhm.
I think the whole conversation, I hope, calms down a little bit. I'm quite hopeful with the fact that yes, I've seen a bit with Cash, but it's not been so loud as previous
Yeah,
years. Hopefully it's okay. I do also see Strictly going into this social media world a bit more this year. It seems to be a bit more for the younger audience this year. A lot of the people cast this far are huge on social media, would be up for having a bit of fun. I'm hoping the vibe feels younger, fresher, and the grumpy people just disappear. Or
yeah.
calm down a little bit, you know.
And
But
like, not every opinion needs to be public. And I think this is
no.
something I've really like realized in the last year, right? You may go, oh, don't like this on my dance experience. You don't need to post it publicly. You could say to your friend, oh, don't like the Cash House dance experience. But I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. You're not going to achieve anything except looking like you're grumpy. Like,
Mhm.
Strictly aren't going
Yeah.
to change their entire production show because you said you don't like this person's dance experience. They've, as we've established, had dance experience for so many years that they're
Yeah.
not going to go, you know what? They don't like it now. We'll change it. Like, that's just not what the show is. It's not what the show has
Yeah.
ever been. It's always been
And
about people learning ballroom and Latin. It's never been people who have never danced. That's just factually inaccurate. And if that's what you think it is, babe, I don't think you've
yeah,
been watching it. Like,
no, you've
you
not been
missed
paying
half of
attention.
this. Yeah.
I would say as well, and this is like a tiny bit of a tangent, but not really. It was like the people trying to defend George by attacking other people or attacking people that supported someone else. But sort of historically, when this conversation has come up, I get that people want to defend their own celebrity. You know, if your celebrity, your favorite gets eliminated because someone was better, but they had a bit of an advantage, I understand that that can feel sad to you. But the amount of times we've had celebrities come out and go, I'm not mad that they're better than me. I don't
Yeah.
mind. George last year was like, hey, everyone, please chill. Stop trying to defend me the way you are because I'm friends with all these people and I want them all to succeed. And I think, you know, you're allowed to be upset. You're allowed to have the emotions, but just acknowledge that at the end of the day, it's just 15 celebrities putting on a show and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, it just is what it is. I could make 1,000 other points, but I'm gonna stop.
Yeah.
Feel free to make it if you have any more. Go,
I
and
just
then we'll
think
wrap up.
we've just like, you know, we said all the things, and I think it really I don't have to fight any more people in comment sections. Like, it's really tiring. It's just
Hmm.
like, guys, actually, just maybe I should start blocking. Maybe that's what needs to
Poppy in
happen.
her blocking era.
Yeah, maybe.
I believe in you.
Thank you.
Well, we'll wrap it up because we said to each other we would do a shorter episode because we don't have much time and we've hit an hour. So, classic us, we ramble. So, I am
Sorry.
Jordan. You can follow me on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and hopefully soon Facebook. I'm going to try to do
I was
that.
gonna say,
At Caterpillar. Sorry for no episode last week. Before I forget, we were at Creator Fest, which was really
yeah.
cool. You'll have seen if you looked on our TikTok, we posted a video about it. But yeah, you go.
And I'm Poppy. You can follow me on TikTok at Strictly Poppy, on Instagram, Poppy.Morrison underscore. Hopefully, I'll be doing Facebook stuff, who even knows. Also, if you want extra Strictly Goss, we're both contributing to, is it TV Guide UK, the TikTok and Facebook that we're doing?
Facebook is Entertainment Daily
There we
UK, and
go.
then their TikTok is TV Guide UK.
So if you go and look at them, you'll see our faces up on there. If you want to interact there, you do us some favors, so please go ahead and also interact with the podcast. Follow us on here. Well, I don't know where you are. Whatever one you're on, if you're on YouTube or Spotify, make sure you like subscribe. Go on the other one, subscribe. Just have a little listen. Go on the TikTok, it's Strictly Talk Pod. Go on the Instagram, it's the same. I'm not very good at remembering to cross post, but
What I
like
will say, this is
we're
like
doing
a
our best.
thousand. This is a thousand things for you to think about, but there is a link in the description with our link tree to all of them.
There
So
you
just go
go.
there
Just
and you'll
do,
see it
yeah,
all.
do all the things. Basically, like,
Do all the things, and we'll love you.
and like, you know, stand up for good, stand
We
against evil.
don't know what
Be
the
nice,
exactly.
be kind.
Um, be kind. We don't know what the next episode is, but what we do know is we have some exciting episodes lined up. We haven't filmed them yet. We haven't recorded them, but we've got. Shall we say we think we've got some fun people that you might get to chat with. So
Yeah.
look forward to that. And for now, bye bye.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye. Bye bye.